We smoked them, we wrapped them, and we injected them. Wait till you taste this. Welcome back, my friends, to a windy and rainy afternoon here at Heat of the Drum. What do we got going on today? We got some smoked potatoes that we're going to do on there, and with a little bit of a twist. We're going to be injecting them at some point during this cook and wrapping them, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later when we get to that point. Right now, what I got here is 4 nice size russet potatoes, and these, I measured these, or I should say I weighed these. These are between 10 and 11 ounces. Those seem to be the perfect size for doing this technique. These I cleaned an hour ago, and I just took a paper towel, wiped them off real good, and dried them thoroughly, and let them hang out on the countertop. Now they're ready to be prepped. Let's move on to that step. Now the first thing I want to do to these potatoes is just jab them a few times with this fork here. We don't want to take the chance of this thing exploding on us. So you don't have to get too crazy. I just do usually about 4 pokes per potato. And what I have here is just a little bit of olive oil. We're going to coat these potatoes and then season up the skin. And just a little bit. We're just trying to wet the surface of the potato to give our seasoning something to cling to. Here we go with that. And like I said, just enough to get the seasoning to stick. We don't want them dripping in oil. That'll work. And what I have here is just some regular salt and some regular pepper that we're going to season these up with. So I'm just going to hit them with a little salt. And then hit them with a little pepper. A little salt. And a little pepper. How much you want to put on is up to you. I'm just doing kind of a light dusting. These potatoes are pretty bland, so they can take some seasoning. Today we're using a little bit of cowboy lump mixed with some Kingsford and some chunks of hickory wood. All right, our chimney's about ready. We're going to be dumping that anytime, and then we'll work on dialing this drum in and getting that thing up to temp. And I'm a big fan of using water in my cooks. This is a bowl of hot water. All right, it's the best part of the day. We got the chimney dumped. We're going to work on getting that thing up to temp. Like I said, 295, give or take, right around in there. And then we're throwing these things on. And you're probably thinking, oh man, that's nothing special. You put salt and pepper on some potatoes. Stick around though. We got a couple more steps that we got to do to these things that are going to take them to the next level. And let me say real quick, thanks to anybody who's liked and subscribed. If you like what I'm doing here, hit that like button. Drop me a comment down below. I like to comment to anybody who leaves a comment down there. And don't forget to subscribe, man. That's what it's all about. So I can keep bringing these recipes to you guys. All right, the potatoes are about ready to go on. Let's quickly make this butter that we're going to need in a little bit. What I have here is 2 sticks of salted butter, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of basil leaves. that I just kind of crumbled and made them a little bit more finer. So we're going to add that in here, and hopefully this butter's not too hard, and we're going to get it mixed up and then put into this cast iron pan. Get all those seasonings in here. A little cold out here today, but we'll get her mixed. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I got my trusty little cast iron dish here that we're going to get this into. Right there. And it looks something like that. All right, the butter's made, potatoes are prepped, ready to go on. Let's do this. And here we go. And what I like to do is just set this butter right off to the side like that. Get those kind of centered. And here we go. All right, the potatoes are on and the butter's on. Got my little timer here set for 1 hour and 10 minutes. We're not going to look, we're not going to peek, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to let it go for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. I'll see you then. All right, it's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Let's get these potatoes off, and we're going to move on to the next step. Now, the first thing I want to do is get in here and stir this butter for the first time. That's looking really nice. Let's grab these potatoes off. Leave the butter on momentarily. All right, we got our potatoes off. They're nowhere near done yet. And what I have here is a tray of bacon. Didn't see that one coming, did you? What I'm going to do is wrap these potatoes in this bacon. You're going to need 4 pieces of bacon per potato, and let me show you how I do it. And here we go. So what I'm going to do is just come in and take 1 piece and wrap right around end to end, just like that. And this bacon is going to start getting thawed out. This bacon came right out of the fridge. So you want to keep it as cold as you can till you need to use it. Because once it hits that hot potato, it's going to loosen up on you. And all you need to do is just wrap. Just like that. And you'll see what I mean when I say that you need 4 pieces. And basically you're just trying to get a good wrap like you would on anything. And the less you handle these, the better. Once you get it on there and you get it covered, set it down. Move on to the next one. Just like that. And once you get it covered, set her down. It's always best to have a spare strip or 2 of bacon just in case. There's number 4. There is one thing I want to do to these real quick. Now I'm just going to hit them with a little cracked pepper. Just to add a little more flavor. Remember that butter? What I'm going to do is come in here with this injector and suck up some of this buttery goodness that we just made. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit this potato. Just like that. And we're going to get this about 6 times. And don't be worried if you lose some on the cutting board, because you probably will. What I like to do is jab in there, and then as I'm pulling out, that's when you're going to get a lot of that butter in there. We're just trying to get the flavor down in there, my friends. And it's going to fight you a little bit. One more. These are ready. Let's get them back on the smoker. Just like that. I am going to open my damper a hair. All right, the potatoes are on. Now the bacon's going to insulate them a little bit. They're going to drop in temp and they'll rebound and start climbing again. So don't worry about that. Like I said, we're about 145 internal on those. We want to go to roughly around 210. That seems to be like the perfect temp for a nice smoked potato. I'll see you at 210. We just hit 210 degrees internal on these potatoes. It's been 3.5 hours. Let's get our first look at these things. Looking really good. Look at that. Woo! But I want that bacon a little bit more done, so we're going to let her go a little bit longer. All right, so the potato is where we need it to be. The bacon's not quite there yet, so we're going to let it go a little bit longer, probably about another 5-7 minutes, and then we'll check it again. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's get another look at these. Oh yeah, we are getting close, my friends. Few more minutes. All right, it's been 5 more minutes. let's get a look at these. And these are close, my friends. I say a few more minutes and we'll be taking these off. All right, we're giving these 5 more minutes and then they're coming off. It's time. Look at those. Here we go. So the first thing we want to do to these is we're going to temp them for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to cut into these bad boys. And I tell you what, we're just going to loosely temp them too. They smell so good. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Oh man, woo-wee, that's hot. Oh man. How are we going to finish that? Remember some of that butter from earlier? I kept it warm on the stove about the last 10-15 minutes. And let's pour some of that in there. Nice herbed butter. Followed up with a little cheddar cheese. Can't have a potato, especially a baked potato, without some cheddar cheese. And then we're going to follow that up with a little bit of sour cream. And then how about a little bit of onion right on top? We smoked them, we wrapped them, and we injected them. Wait till you taste this. There's nothing left for me to do but taste this thing. And let me tell you, this is a meal in itself. I can eat 2 of these things. I'm a big eater, and I am stuffed. So it's well worth the time it takes to make this. This took us 4 hours and 5 minutes. And trust me, that potato is so tender, has great smoky flavor from that hickory wood. And the bacon, oh man, that just takes it to the next level. Let's try it. Oh man, I'll tell you, like I said, this thing and that potato is going to melt in your mouth. Wow. The potato is perfect. That bacon on the outside. When you do a loaded baked potato, you put sour cream, maybe some chives, some onion, and you always add bacon bits. Why not smoke the bacon around the outside of that potato? Inject it with a little bit of that basil butter. It might be a 4-hour smoke, but it's well worth it. Let me tell you. Sorry, I can't help myself. If you want to jazz up a baked potato, try this. You won't regret it. Till I see you the next time on Heat of the Drum.